Hi, Carol, professional Ikea hacker here. Today I'll talk to you about 3 simple hacks that you can do to your PAX box to make it last way more than the 10-year warranty that Ikea provides, and will set you up. If you do those 3 things, it will give your PAX box a solid start to any sort of customization that you may want to do. PAX doesn't come with any side panels or crown moldings or any bases, and those are the easiest things that you can add to it to kind of elevate your project. So let's talk about PAX hacking. What are the 3 things? The 3 things that you will do are as follows. Cut out the trim behind the PAX. What that will do is, once you cut it out, it will allow for your PAX to come close to the wall, or as close as you can get. Better look, more thoughtful. It just looks better when those baseboards hit those sides nicely. 1. 2, glue in your backs. And I'll go into it, how I go about it. How do I make sure that backs always stays inside that box and provides a lifetime integrity. It really doubles the life of your PAX. And the 3rd thing is, you will install, I recommend people install these thin plywood cleats right at the top, from side to side, in mid, and at the bottom. And there's specific reasons why you want to do that. So, first thing first, cut out the trim from behind your PAX. Baseboards are at least 5/8, ½ inch, 3/4, even up to 1 inch if you live in one of those really fancy places. Cut it out. It will make it look better, more built in, more refined. Somebody thought about this project before they were installing it. 2, glue in your back. So this is how I go about it. So you have your box face down on the floor. Before I slap in that fairly thin back, which sometimes comes in 2 pieces on the larger boxes, I put a thin bead of silicone all around it inside the groove, and I slap the back on silicone, just plain silicone. Silicone is different than, let's say, latex acrylic caulking. Silicone just has more strength, it's longer lasting. That's the stuff they use around bathtubs. It's kind of gummy. I use clear one. If you have squeeze out, you're less likely to see it. So silicone. So when you have that down, thin bead of silicone, slap it down, position it, make sure it's square, and you use Ikea nails. I use Ikea nails. Just tack it in place. What's my next step? My next step, so that gluing in that back will provide the rigidity for that box. When you lift it up next day, when it sets, it's going to be like a rigid box, really nice. The back will be like sprung drum. The next step, so you glued in the back and you nailed it. I get these cleats, 1/2 inch plywood, about 6 inches, and I cut them 2 lengths. So it's going to be a 50, a 75, or 100 centimeters. And every box gets 3 cleats. It gets it at the very top, mid, and the bottom. So how do I attach those? Same thing. I put a bit of silicone on the back of my cleat. I put it in place and I pre-drill. Usually 3 holes on the side and every 6 or 8 inches on top. Why? That will come in actually very handy at the very end. It will strengthen that box. It will dramatically increase the strength of the joint, where you have 3 planes coming in, so top, bottom. Ikea already kind of optimized the design by using like a high-end sandwich, right, which is fairly light and structural only in a specific area. So putting in that cleat at the top really makes that box rigid and sturdy. I want to say, like, you really have to have 2 boxes and compare them. Like, I just really enjoy working with that sturdy, rigid box, and fairly light, so I can manipulate it myself. It's nice to have help, but sometimes it's not always available. If you're doing it yourself, you're like, wow, this box, I can push it in place. It's easy to manipulate, easy to level because it's rigid. I install the cleats, I pre-drill for them and I screw them in. This is the tool that I use. You see it for pre-drilling. You always have to pre-drill. Because if you don't pre-drill, when you drive that screw in, it will split the panel. And then it loses the strength. It has no strength. So make sure you have a nice countersink with a drill bit, and make sure that the length of it is a little deeper than the length of your drill bit. That way there's always more than enough room for that shaft of the screw to go in, and the threads are biting in it, they'll pull it in. That's what you want. You don't want any splitting. You don't want the screw to be going in and splitting the panel. Got it? Once you did that, I go back. So now I have glued it in and I have screwed it at the top, mid portion. So the mid portion will only get, there's silicone behind it, but it will get screws on the right and on the left only. And at the bottom, same thing. The 3 screws on the gables and on the bottom. The rest of the distance that's unfilled and just nailed down, I use a screw like this. So this is a sheet metal working screw. And the characteristics of these screws are as follow. They have a very short thread and it's very aggressive and it's very sharp. It's fairly thin too. So you don't have, it's because it's so short and so aggressive, you don't have to pre-drill for it. So all you gotta do is just get a bit and fill in wherever you're missing the cleats. So your back is glued, nailed, screwed, and it's got those cleats installed. Let it cure overnight, and tomorrow you'll be amazed how nice that box is. So what's the third thing? Why is it beneficial to install those cleats? IKEA boxes have to be attached to the wall at the back, and there are only, I guess, 2 brackets at the back, or 2 holes, and that's where you have to. So you have to, first of all, play and align. Where's that going to go? You got to figure out, oh my gosh, you know, I just missed the stud by 4 inches. You got to put in some sort of anchor. I don't like anchors, actually. I don't like anchors. I mean, they work, they have their use, but I might record another video about anchors, what I think about anchors and how they work. So when you have that structural piece in the back, somewhere along that 50 or that 75 or that 100 centimeters, there will be a stud, and all you can do is just catch it against the back. Because now your back is structural, right? So you have a lot of flex, just ease. You just mark it right before, lay out your studs, and when you cut out the trim, the box gets pushed in, it gets tipped up, leveled usually against the wall, you know, so it's sitting nicely. And then you see where your studs are, you take a drill, you take a long enough screw, you put it, and you just put it mindlessly. And it goes right in through that cleat, through the drywall, into the stud, and it's solid. It will never move. There's no risk. That box is now structural integrity for life, virtually. Actually, I would say for life. You don't have to worry about it. You can now start adding the side panels, the crown molding, so you're making it look like $1 million. Okay, 3 simple things. Glue your back, screw in your back, put in those cleats. It will look better, it will last better, and you know what? Down the line, you feel creative putting on some things, it will work for you. Okay? Anything else? Christmas is coming up. Oh, really nice project coming up. Oh my gosh! But I have to sort of complete the design. There's a couple things I have to resolve. I'm sure I'll make a video. Ciao!